Hi folks, thanks for joining me once again for another one of my Deer Quest Outdoor Adventures. On this week's program, we're going to be taking you down to Texas, where we'll be hunting on the world famous Wyo Ranch. We did lots of videotaping of those Texas whitetails, and we're going to join Deer Quest hunting friend Mr. Waylon Owens as he takes a really nice management buck for the Wyo Ranch. We're then going to travel up to northwestern Iowa, where we're going to visit with Mr. Judd Cooney. Now, Judd owns and operates Iowa Trophy Whitetail Outfitters. There, we've filmed some great whitetails and had a lot of great whitetail action. I think you're going to enjoy this week's show, so stick with us and we'll be right back after this. Greg Hopf's Deer Quest Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Deer Quest Limited, makers of Deer Sense, the scent that smokes. Carter's Hunting Lodge, the Pike County, Illinois premier hunting location where whitetail hunting fantasies become whitetail hunting realities. Also brought to you by these fine sponsors. Nikon Sporting Optics, a better look at your world. Ollie Caller Wildlife Calls and Accessories, quality products for today's modern sportsman. Light and Sights, producers of high-tech fluorescent optics. Easy Cut Ratchet Pruners, quality equipment for the sportsman. Odor Free, the original scent eliminator. Be silent, be still, be odor free. And Wind Tracker, the fibers that float to show you the direction of your scent. Don't guess, see the wind, and know for sure. I traveled down to Texas and the world famous Wyo Ranch, along with Deer Quest Eastern Pro Staff Director Steve Sinclair, to join Doug Walker of National Bowhunter magazine for his annual Wyo Texas Safari Get-Together. Hunting personalities, manufacturers, and sportsmen from around the country make the annual pilgrimage to join Doug to pursue the many types of game found on the Wyo Ranch. Famous for its natural whitetail population and some 55 species of exotic animals, 22 of which are huntable, the Wyo began as a cattle ranch and is still an active and working cattle ranch today. Located just 100 miles northwest of San Antonio in the ruggedly beautiful Texas Hill Country, this 60 square mile ranch, which is known for its legendary Texas hospitality, offers hunts for animals such as fallow deer and red stag, but it is best known for its great whitetails. Hunters who come to the Wyo Ranch should expect to see up to $100 a day or more, and will have to experience the difficulty of selecting the type of trophy that they have their hearts set on. This highly managed deer population thrives due to sound management principles and supplemental feedings. After hunting whitetails at the Wyo, most hunters usually wind up returning year after year. Steve and I had come to this year's get-together not to hunt, but rather to videotape the reaction of Texas deer to a new Deer Quest scent stick called Curiosity Blend. And of course, we wanted to enjoy the camaraderie of old Texas Safari get-together friends. Setting up in a huge tower box blind, Steve and I began to prepare for our afternoon's video session.
How you doing? We're down here on the Wyo Ranch, middle October, trying out a new scent stick product. We'll see how she works this morning. This is the first time we're trying it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, now just back off to our blind and we'll see what happens. See if we can draw some in.
After placing out 3 buckets around the blind, it wasn't long until deer began to approach the scent sticks. While videotaping at the YO, Steve and I were impressed with the quality and size of these whitetails in comparison to other Texas ranches that we've hunted. A buck like this would be hard to pass up if you weren't hunting on the YO Ranch. One thing that fascinated Steve and I while we were videotaping at the ranch was the ability of the deer to jump the many cattle fences that crisscross the property. Jumping 6 to 7 feet from a standing position made us understand why a deer enclosure fence has to be 10 foot high or higher, or it will not contain a whitetail. When this old buck showed up, I was sorry that I hadn't brought a bow along for the evening. But I still enjoyed just capturing this great Texas buck on videotape. While videotaping Texas deer reactions to the scent stick was our main purpose for this trip, DeerQuest friend Waylon Owens was more than happy to have me join him on a cull hunt. Waylon and I were setting up in a feeding area, trying to take what the YO Ranch managers call a cull buck. A cull buck is any mature buck with less than 8 points that are taken from the herd to strengthen the gene pool, leaving only those animals which will eventually develop trophy potential. When offered the opportunity to take such a buck on videotape using Deer Sense, the scent that smokes, to assist him in that effort, Waylon was only too happy to jump at the chance. Let's have a look.
Five to 6.5-year-old buck, and had 2 little bumps on the end, but they weren't any bigger than his trash on his heavy bases. He was probably a 5.5, 6-year-old, right through the shoulder, right behind the edge of the blade of his shoulder blade. Good shot. Took him a total of 30 seconds to go down. Old deer, big pot belly, big girth, fat hanging down. Good management buck. Good lung shot. Got the front of the lungs and probably the heart. I don't think he's alive, but we'll just check to be sure. No. He's dead. Let's see here. We've got, don't have one dog horn. Nothing's broke off over here, just nice and slick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he is approximately 5.5, maybe 6.5 years old. Heavy bases at the bottom, big pot belly. You can see right here, he's got a lot of loose skin. Old deer, been around a while. Big old gray head on him. There he is. Good management buck. Served his purpose.
Nice shooting, Waylon. Thanks for letting me join you. On this edition of Gear, Gadgets, and Gizmos, we're featuring Odor Free, the original scent eliminator. By now, everyone is aware of the necessity for practicing and maintaining good scent control if your goal is to take any trophy-class big game animal. In addition to practicing good hygiene and wearing scent-suppressant clothing, the use of the best possible odor-eliminating product is essential and that product is odor-free, the original scent elimination product. When using odor-free, don't forget to use it not just on your clothing, but on all the gear and equipment you handle and use. Forgetting to do so may mean the difference between your success or failure. Once dressed, the final spritz of odor-free all over yourself will eliminate any possible remaining odor. And don't forget the inside of your hat. Since odor-free scent eliminator is safe to use directly on your skin, be sure to cover your face, neck, and head to maximize odor elimination. And while odor-free is safe to use directly on your skin, it's also so powerful that it will actually remove the odor of gasoline, one of the most difficult odors to eliminate. Check out the entire odor-free product line today at www.odorfreeproducts.com. You'll be glad you did. And that's our featured product of the week on Gear, Gadgets, and Gizmos. Judd Cooney's Iowa Trophy Whitetail Outfitters is located in northwestern Iowa, and it's home to lots of big whitetails. It's headquartered in a warm and comfortable farmhouse. Our guide, Michael Bates, took my cameraman, Tim Burke, and I to a few different stand locations where we saw bucks and lots of does. After the second morning's hunt, I had a chance to speak to Judd, the owner and operator of Iowa Trophy Whitetail Outfitters, who has since been inducted into the National Bowhunters Hall of Fame.
Well, how'd you do today?
Well, I'll tell you, Judd, we had a great day. Saw a lot of deer. A lot of does are chasing, the bucks are chasing, little bucks are chasing the does. Saw one good one, but it was out about 250 yards out. Looked under the glasses, I'm guessing them in the 140 range. One that I'd definitely like to get a crack at,
Yeah.
maybe later on today.
And we saw two 140s, maybe a 150 this morning chasing does right out in the open. So this is about the peak of the rut.
And you know, we came in here, and yesterday it snowed, and we weren't expecting this. Is this typical of what you're going to get out here in Iowa?
Last year at this same time, the same week, it was 85 degrees. This is what Iowa's supposed to be like. So this is going to make this year's hunting a lot better.
Well, we're all excited, I'll tell you. All of the guys in camp, everybody's seen deer, and it's just a matter of waiting for that big one to get under you. Listen, how long have you had Iowa Trophy Outfitters? Tell me a little bit about you.
Well, we started Iowa Trophy Whitetail Outfitters about 5 years ago, and we've been going every fall since then. We've had a little problem with the drawing in Iowa. It's a little tough to get a bow license.
Tough to get in. Mm-hmm.
But it seems we're getting a handle on it, and it seems to get a little better every year. We're getting quality hunters that are turning down a lot of small bucks, and even some pretty good bucks waiting for that big one.
Well, I know just talking to the fellows in camp this week, everybody's kind of had their sights set on a 140, 150 class buck. And I know that you've seen a couple of 170, 180 class bucks running here.
Yeah, we've got some monster bucks. Any stand we've got out, you could have a 170 walk under you on any given day.
Well, that's the exciting part of being out here at Iowa Trophy Outfitters. I have that feeling in the tree stand that the next buck that walks down the trail could be a world's record. You just don't know.
No, that's right. That's what makes this country what it is.
Now, I have another question for you. I understand that you're kind of a hard sell when it comes to some new products. You know what I'm talking about. We've been using our scent sticks here, deer scents, and I understand you weren't real keen on them at first.
Well, it wasn't that I wasn't real keen. It's just that I've seen so many gimmicks and gizmos and all this stuff on the market that don't work. And when I saw this, I thought, what are they going to come up with next? But we've been playing with it hard. I'm not playing with it, actually working with it. We've taken several of our biggest bucks because of it.
Really?
And we use it constantly. It's one scent product that carries the scent away from the hunter. It reaches out to the deer, and it doesn't spook the deer, and it'll actually bring them right in. And when you combine them with the good placement, decoy placement, everything else, rattling and grunting, it appeals to the deer's sense of smell. You're appealing to his eyesight with the decoy, his hearing with the rattling. It just goes along with it. And I've tried all the scent products on the market, and this is the best that we found.
It's really good to hear that. I had a chuckle. Of course, we've always believed that scent sticks were the way to go as a scent delivery system because it goes so far. But one of our hunters said to us he couldn't believe he had a little 6-point come up, and he said he got his nose just a few feet from the bucket, the little that we're burning them in, and he was just fascinated with how it worked for him. You know, one thing else that I think is important to mention about them, and I'm sure you agree, they make a good cover scent too for your human scent.
Right. Well, we use them not only on the ground like it says, but we'll have the hunters, you know, put them up in the tree by them, because right by their face, you make sure you got it downwind of you. It won't take long to figure that out, but use it downwind, and that way if any human scent does get down there, it covers it
That's
up.
going to do it. Well, I'll tell you, we've got everything working for us. We've got great weather, we've got a great place to hunt, and by the way, your guides and everyone here is treating us just absolutely superbly. We just can't wait to get going here on the rest of our hunt, and I know win, lose, or draw, you're probably going to see us back here again, because we've certainly enjoyed your hospitality and how you run things here.
We're pretty sure that we'll have some big bucks left. We don't manage to take them all, that's for sure.
I hope I've got one of them to show you tonight, all right?
Well, good having you here.
Thanks. Let's go get some food.
Okay.
That night, we were greeted by a beautiful full moon, which, combined with the snow cover on the ground, helped to make the normal dark of night look like daylight. I knew there would be less daylight deer movement, and that my only hope was to catch a lonesome bachelor buck cruising for a receptive doe in the area of my tree stand location. It was the last day of hunting for me at Judd's camp, and although I had seen lots of does and small bucks, I had not yet had an opportunity at anything large enough to even consider shooting. This was very frustrating for me because I'm familiar with the number and the quality of the outstanding bucks that are found at Iowa Trophy Whitetail Outfitters. But I reminded myself that this is why we call our sport hunting. If we took a trophy animal every time we went to the woods, the lack of challenge would make most of us just stop trying. I lit my last set of scent sticks and headed for my stand for my final afternoon sit. It wasn't long until two yearlings passed within shooting range of my stand. It was apparent that they were temporarily abandoned by their mother while she was being tended by a buck. As most hunters will agree, it's still better to see any deer than no deer at all. And seeing these yearlings moving gave me a renewed hope for the last few hours of my hunt. I tried adding some bark raking, antler rattling, and grunting, combined with the deer scents I was burning, hoping that I might motivate a nearby buck to investigate. About 20 minutes after my rattling sequence, I finally spotted what I thought might be a shooter-class buck. There's a buck just down over the rise below us. I can't see his rack yet, but it looks like he's got a pretty good rack on him. At this point, I knew he was a good buck, but I didn't see that he had broken off his G3 and G4 points and his left antler tip. He's a nice buck. I'm not sure it's one I want to take, though. Boy, look at the body on that animal. He stopped just over the hill. I can't see him. After the deer stopped just out of sight over the hill, I took out my holly caller hands-free deer call and gave him a couple of short grunts to get him going in my direction once again. As the buck began to close the distance, I saw the damage to his left antler and knew that I wouldn't take him. As he approached my stand, even if I had intended on shooting him, I couldn't, since a movement by me or my cameraman had caught the buck's eye. This immediately sent him running. While this ended my hunt in northwestern Iowa, my next Iowa hunt would give me an opportunity to take the largest whitetail I have ever taken with my bow or any weapon, a 185 5/8 inch Pope & Young monster. But I'll save that for another one of my Deer Quest outdoor adventures. Well, folks, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this week's edition of my Deer Quest outdoor adventures, and I hope to see you again next week. Till then, please, be safe and good hunting. Greg Hopf's Deer Quest Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Deer Quest Limited, makers of Deer Sense, the scent that smokes. Carter's Hunting Lodge, the Pike County, Illinois premier hunting location where whitetail hunting fantasies become whitetail hunting realities. Also brought to you by these fine sponsors. Nikon Sporting Optics, a better look at your world. Holly Caller Wildlife Calls and Accessories, quality products for today's modern sportsman. Light and Sights, producers of high-tech fluorescent optics. Easy Cut Ratchet Pruners, quality equipment for the sportsman. Odor Free, the original scent eliminator. Be silent, be still, be odor free. And Wind Tracker, the fibers that float to show you the direction of your scent. Don't guess, see the wind and know for sure. If you'd like more information about or would like to purchase products you've seen us use on the show, or would simply like to make a comment about today's program, we'd love to hear from you. Just visit us at our website, www.deerquest.com.